Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betkraft. Okay, today is another beautiful Monday morning. This 29th day of July, and as usual, we have lots of games going on across the globe, and we made our analysis on a selected few. Before bringing it forward for you. And as we know, yesterday we were, very very successful in the predictions. Yesterday, we saw that. All the games we predicted yesterday, we actually very very successful. All the 6 games we were just 100% boom. Give it up to us. We do a lot of wonderful work for you here. All right. Before we go ahead, I want to use this opportunity to ask those of us who are actually coming across our video for the first time, who are yet to subscribe, to kindly use the opportunity to hit the subscribe button down there so you don't miss out. As also been games that will be coming up on this channel on a daily basis. All right. That being said, let's get to the business of today. All right, without further ado, today's prediction started with the second division in Sweden. We'll have Helsingborg, who will be up against Oyster. All right, and when you look at how both teams have fared, as usual, we'll take a look at the recent games that they've played, and also bring it down to how both teams have fared from home and away perspective, and also put all that together to make our verdict for that very encounter. So we're looking at this one. We could see that Helsingborg have been able to achieve 5 victories in the past 6 encounters, but they've also lost 1 game, and their away side Oyster have managed 4 wins as well as 1 draw and also 1 loss in the past 6 encounters. All right, when you look at down to how both sides have fared from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side Helsingborg have managed to achieve 4 victories in the past 10 home games. They also had 2 draws as well as 4 losses in the past. Actually, they have 3 draws. They had 4 draws as well as 2 losses. So it is 4 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses in the past 10 home games that they played out so far. And on the other hand, the away side Oyster have been able to achieve 5 victories playing from away, and they've also had 1 draw as well as 4 losses in the past 10 away games. All right, these 2 teams are quite evenly matched in my opinion. And the last time both teams met, which was in June of this year, saw Oyster defeating this side by 4-0. On that occasion, Oyster played from home, and this time around it is Helsingborg who's playing from home. But in this very encounter, we know that Helsingborg will be trying to make amends for the lost grounds in the first meeting, in the last meeting for both sides. So in this very encounter, our verdict is actually goals verdict, and we expect to see a minimum of 2 goals in this very encounter. It is another 1.5. That's our verdict for that very game. And that takes us to the next for today, and it is in Bulgaria. We'll have More coming up against September Sofia. And when you look at the home side, in the past 6, they've been able to achieve 2 victories. They've also had 3 draws as well as 1 loss in the past 6 encounters. And when you look at the away side, September Sofia have been able to achieve just 1 victory in the past 6 encounters. They've also had 1 draw, and they've had 4 losses in the past 6 previous games that they played out so far. So when you look at how both sides have fared from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side More have been able to achieve 7 victories playing from home. They've also had 2 draws and losing just 1 game in the past 10 home games that they have so far. That goes to show that it is a side that is doing well, seeing that they've been able to achieve a 70% victory in the past 10 home games. So when you look at their away side, on the other hand, September Sofia have been able to manage 4 wins from the past for the past 10 away games. They've also had 3 draws as well as 3 losses. So they've been able to win 40% of their away games, and they've had 30% draw as well as 30% losses in the past away game. But the last 2 away games that they played out so far saw them losing out those 2 away games heavily. Actually, the last one we saw them losing by 5-0 to Levski Sofia, and they lost to Slavia Sofia by also 4-1. So those are heavy losses, and it goes to show that they're not doing very well playing from away. And on the last time these two teams came over more and September Sofia met, which was in last year March. We saw Kevin Moore defeating this side by 3-0 from home. So in this very encounter, we expect a repeat of this very feat, seeing the home side, winning outrightly. That's what we expect in this very game. Home win as a verdict. And that takes us to the next game for the day. It is in Russia, first division, where we have Volgograd coming up against the Arsenal Tula. All right, when you look at how both sides are fared from home and away from the recent games, you see that Volgograd, the home side, have achieved 3 victories from home in the past 6 games. Actually, they've had 2 draws as well as 1 loss. And the away side, Arsenal Tula, in the past 6 have managed 2 victories, but they've also had 4 losses alongside. So when you look at how both sides have fared from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side, Volgograd, have been able to achieve 3 victories in the past 10 home games. They've also had 2 draws and they've lost 6 games playing from home. And the away side, on the other hand, also have managed, Arsenal Tula managed just one victory in the past 10 away games, but they've had 1 draw as well. They've had 3 draws. They've actually had 4 draws and they've lost 5 games in the past 10 away games they played out so far. So when you look at head-to-head proceeding for both sides, the last time both teams met was in 2020, and it was Volgograd who had the upper hand on that occasion, winning by 1-0. So in this very encounter, it is actually a very difficult one to call, but we do expect the home side, Volgograd, to actually achieve a result. Seeing that the last 3 home games that they played out so far saw them, winning 2 outrightly and drawing 1. So we do expect Volgograd to achieve a result, so to either win or draw, and under 4.5. That's all right for this very game. Home win or draw, and 4.5. That takes us to the next for the day. It is in Egyptian Premier League, where we have Arab contractors who will be at home facing Zamalek FC. Zamalek FC, a very good side. When you look at Arab contractors, they've been able to achieve 1 victory in the past 6 encounters. They've also had 2 draws as well as 3 losses. But our side, Zamalek FC, have been able to achieve 4 victories and 2 draws in the past 6 recent games that they played out so far. When you take it down to how both sides are fared from home and away perspective, you can see that Arab contractors have been able to achieve just 1 victory in the past 10 home games. They've also had 2 draws as well as 7 losses in the past 10 home games that they played out so far. They've lost heavily playing from home. And when you look at Zamalek FC, on the other hand, Zamalek FC have been able to achieve 6 victories in the past 10 away games. They've also had 1 draw as well as 3 losses in the past 10 away games that they played out so far. They've been able to achieve a 60% victory in the past 10 away games. So they're actually a team that is close to doing very well at the moment, if you ask me. Aside these 2 teams, FACO and AlAhly, I can say that Zamalek is a nest, and it's actually a very strong side. And the last 2 times both teams met, the last time they met saw them playing out a 1-1 draw, which was in September last year. But prior to that, we saw Zamalek defeating this side by 6-1. So we do expect Zamalek, who are doing very well, to actually rise to the occasion against Arab contractors and win outrightly in this very encounter. It is their way side to win. That's all valid for that very game. And that takes us to the next, and it is in Norwegian First Division, where we have Valenga coming up against Valenga. Valenga have won 5 games in the past 6 encounters, and they've had 1 draw. And Renheim, on the other hand, have managed 3 victories, 1 draw, as well as 2 losses in the past 6 encounters that they have so far. So when you bring it down to how these 2 teams have fared from home and away perspective, you can also see that Valenga, the home side, have been able to achieve 6 victories in the past 10 home games. They've also had 2 draws as well as 2 losses in the past 10 home games that they have so far. They won 60% of their home matches. They're fairly doing well, if you ask me. And away side, on the other hand, have been able to manage just 3 victories in the past 10 away games. They've also had 3 draws as well as 4 losses in the past 10 away games. So when you look at that, bringing out that together, it is also quite noticeable. It's actually the last time both teams met, we saw Valenga defeating these people from away. they won that match against Renham by 3-1. So in this very encounter, this actually happened in last month, June. So in this very encounter, we still expect Valenga, who is a stronger side, to playing at home as well, to rise to the occasion and win out shortly in this very game. It is home win. That's our verdict for that very game. And that will take us to the next game, and which happen to be the last for the day, but in Poland, second division, where we have AlAhly, Junior coming up against LKX Lords. All right, when you look at AlAhly, the home side, they've had just one victory in the past 6. They've also had one draw as well as 4 losses in the past 6 recent games that they have so far. And when you look at the away side too, they've been able to manage 2 victories. They've also had 1 draw as well as 3 losses in the past 6 recent encounters. But when you bring it down to how these 2 teams are paired from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side, AlAhly, Junior, have been able to achieve 6 victories in the past 10 home games. They've also had 2 draws as well as 2 losses. They've actually won 60% of their home matches. And the away side, LKX Lords managed just 1 victory playing from away. They've also had 1 draw, but they've lost entire 8 games playing from away. So putting all that together, we know that AlAhly Junior is actually a good side, and we know that the last time they met, we saw them playing out a 1-1 draw. That was last year, May. In this very encounter, we do expect the home side to not lose out shortly. So in this very game, it is the home side that is actually expected to achieve a result, and the verdict is actually the home side to win or draw, but with under 3.5 goals. Home win or draw plus under 3.5 goals. That's our verdict for that very game, and that brings our prediction for you today on Betkraft to a conclusion. I wish you the very best of luck, just like yesterday. I hope the ticket goes green, and tomorrow is another day. We'll be coming up with our predictions on Betkraft. But until then, keep winning.